And ladies and gentlemen, start your air conditioners. Man, you didn't need a calendar to tell you that today marks the first official day of summer. And if today is any indication, it's going to be a scorcher. The heat index soared past 100 degrees in cities across the Northeast, where stepping out the front door felt more like stepping into an oven. And this early heat wave isn't over yet. Here's ABC's Ginger Z with the latest.
The relentless wildfires in Colorado, fueled by low humidity, high winds, and earlier this week, record-breaking heat. That heat shifted east today and picked up a whole lot of humidity along the way. This sudden sizzle brought near record-breaking temperatures up and down the East Coast just in time for the official start of summer. Here's how it all goes down. Stick with me here, a little science. A ridge of high pressure ahead of a cold front brings more sunshine, compresses the air, and on the back side of the clockwise rotating high, you get a strong southwesterly flow. That pulls heat and humidity from the south straight up to the northeast. In Washington, D.C., we used time-lapse and a big thermometer to catch the steady temperature increase as the city was hit with its first hot blast of the summer.
This heat is insane.
The nation's capital approaching record temperatures. We found tourists relying on the usual tools to stay cool, makeshift fans and bottled water. But it was this messy technique at one of the capital's biggest attractions that really got our attention.
You have a bloody hand there. I do. We make bloodsicles for the cats on these really hot days. We actually get frozen blood here at the zoo, and we just make them like you would make a popsicle. The cats love them.
$7.25. Thank you.
At the Foggy Bottom Farmers Market, the heat has been welcome. The mild winter and warm spring means good business for Quaker Valley Farms, where the harvest cycle came early.
Peaches are really early this year. Sour cherries usually come out near July, and they're here already.
Today's solstice comes right after the warmest spring on record ever in the United States, with 15,000 record high temperatures broken in March alone. The Climate Prediction Center says it's not going to get a whole lot cooler.
What does summer look like from here on out?
We're forecasting above normal temperatures for most of the country, especially into the central states where there's been expanding drought, and especially in the southwest, which has been suffering through a very rough wildfire season.
Chicago knows all about record roasting. Today, the thermometer topped the 90-degree mark for the 13th time this year, a record this early in the season.
To string together this many 90-degree days so early in the season is unusual.
The heat has already buckled roads, and as the Windy City continues to swelter, there's also the lack of rain to contend with.
Growers in Illinois and Indiana and really throughout the Midwest have suffered. There have been pockets where we picked up some rain here and there, but overall it has been very dry, and crops are struggling as a result.
In New York, the hottest place to be may have been a tin shed on the roof of ABC, where our thermometers maxed out at 120 degrees.
I just think it's boiling in this heat.
New York City's public schools were no picnic either. For the 1.1 million students, they still have one more week of classes.
It would be a lot cooler in our school if they had air conditioning.
And only 64% of classrooms in the city's public schools have air conditioning, which has parents' temperatures rising.
They go out and play in the yard, and then they come back in, and it would be nice to have a cool room so they can focus and concentrate on what the teacher is saying.
We're trying to do as much as we can. There's just a limited capital budget. Not every school is air conditioned.
In what's become an annual event, Mayor Bloomberg delivered a speech on heat from one of the city's cooling centers, which seemed to be doing the trick.
It's too cold.
Outside was a different story with New Yorkers and tourists like Cameron Hoyle from Atlanta taken to the fountains to cool off.
I hate being hot. I hate it so much. And they don't even have a pool here.
Some preferred the old head douse, with others seeking out the shade. But not everyone wanted to avoid that glowing orb. Some chose to slather on the lotion and worship it in all its glory. Most of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast can expect even hotter temperatures tomorrow before getting a bit of relief by the weekend. For Nightline, I'm Ginger Z in Washington.